I know my tea when I tell you that there are some really dark things happening in Hollywood. But this time, I'm not simply talking about a disorganized rundown. I'm talking about alleged murder, phony baby daddies, and baby mistreatment. This year, Chrisean Rock has emerged as the most untidy woman. I can assure you that you will be shocked since the tea on the table is con. Rock has been failing to care for her child. She has also been crying in front of the entire Beyoncé internet since her baby's defects are visible. But that's not all, because rumors are circulating that the DNA test she gave to prove her son's biological father's death was a fake. Let's just get started on this complex situation, because there is a lot to process. Therefore, it is not news that Crone gave birth to a gorgeous boy in 2023 after declaring her pregnancy in January of that year. But there has been a lot of drama surrounding the father of the impoverished child and his health since his birth. However, close sources say that Crone's baby needs to be taken from her as soon as possible.
No parent at 4 in the morning. Nobody want to watch him. She got Marsh. She got Marsh watching the baby at 4 in the morning so she could what? Get some, do a verse. Let me get in here, bro. All this so you could do a verse, suck some. You a boo. My son ain't got no parent. 4 in the morning. Stopping us because she want to be a bad parent to a bad parent. She want to be a yes. Yeah, close the door. Let's go, Marsh. You gonna get your ass up as soon as we get there. Come on. Jaden got a good fade waiting for you, Marsh. Let's go. Jaden got a fade like Tessa. Come on, girl. Let's go. Either you gonna get out, I'm gonna drag you out, Marsh. I'm gonna put this baby down and put you to bed. All right. You wanna go?
It seems like Cuz is suffering as a result of all the naughty things Crone did when she was expecting him. Therefore, you want to see him. She has continued to engage in all of the dirty activities she typically did, like drinking and smoking, because she is pregnant. In fact, rumors have it that she even got worse during her pregnancy, and now the poor youngster is paying the price for his mother's errors. I'm not really sure how to interpret this, everyone. This news because of how dirty you can get. I don't know you all, so correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't being a mother the same as being a nurturer and caregiver? It looks like Cashin is simply giving that unfortunate baby abnormalities. I just sent the message, so don't come for me. However, Crone needs to improve, or she will lose that kid. Things are about to grow worse because Cash Rock is more messier than we anticipated. She shows you that she is worse when you think she is insane, so I kind of give it to her. However, as I mentioned earlier, things are going to become worse since it appears like Chrisean Rock fabricated her child's DNA for no other reason than that he isn't certain he wants to be with you forever. I don't know what you guys think, but this points to one thing. If you're lying about the DNA test, Crow was actually acting carelessly and promiscuously, to the extent that she is unsure of the father's identity, because while still dating Blueface, she was playing around with her, now deceased ex. Let's get right to the point. Did I mention that this man pleaded with her for a DNA test? Therefore, when her kid was born in 2023, everyone concluded that it belonged to Blueface. However, given how disorganized Crone is, have you ever thought if it's actually Karen K, as he's more well-known? Ronnie entered the scene and asserted his ownership of the infant. What some people might not know is that Crotch has also been in a wild relationship with Ronnie, even when she and Blueface were going on and off. In fact, when she gave birth to her kid, Blueface, some old tweets that are currently circulating, again stated that the baby wasn't his. "That baby looks nothing like me," he wrote in one of his tweets. I'm not sure why she keeps putting this on me. That isn't my child, as science has already established. Everything is so messy because it seems like Crone was trying to blame Blueface for the baby, and at first he didn't agree. However, he has since taken back his stance, particularly after last year when Crone gave Blueface a DNA test that proved he was the child's father.
That's me, your father.
It's not.
You the father.
Oh, that's what that means?
You a weird ass. You wanted to be it.
I'm saying,
so
are you sure?
weird.
And if you watch the video carefully, you'll find that the man wasn't entirely satisfied and continued to have doubts about the outcome. And I suppose he has good reason to, as Ronnie Crone's ex-girlfriend disclosed that Crone was traveling from Los Angeles to Baltimore while balancing Blueface and himself simultaneously.
What's up? Chrisean was back and forth from what? LA to Baltimore. LA to Baltimore. Y'all know that. Every single last one of y'all know that. She told y'all out her own mouth.
That Blueface will believe the infant isn't his makes some sense. But Blueface was pleading with Crone for a DNA test while he had doubts about Ronnie.
Junior is not my son. I deserve to have that proven to me through what? A DNA test. If Junior is not my son, the DNA test will prove that. Right or wrong? Right.
I'm just saying that if the man isn't the father, he takes his L and walks away since he felt the baby was his, but she wouldn't even give him one. That's crazy, so why are you refusing? But before Ronnie passed away, he disclosed that Crone was supposed to abort Blueface's child, and that she became pregnant for him in the process. This is why she is afraid to perform a legitimate DNA test, especially since he did, and she eventually released the results online, which is cold as ice and suspicious.
Was Blue told her to go get a in the process of her going to abort his baby, she got pregnant with mine. And that's why she's scared to do a DNA test.
What do you think of this? I'm not sure what you think, but it seems to make sense. As I mentioned earlier, Ronnie died suddenly, and I find it strange and too handy that he died after her and Crescent did the test and revealed some serious things. Ronnie was standing in front of his home when he claimed that a hit had been placed on him and that he was afraid for his life in leaked direct messages with his aunt before he passed away. His aunt warned him to use caution. Yet regrettably, it appears that the internet went crazy after it was revealed that Ronnie was dead, especially because Crotch used the opportunity to post a picture of herself and Blueface together along with a DNA test of her son. That is cold and cruel, because you never gave that man a test. The plea and warning were without purpose. Why did you post it after his death was made public? Fans quickly pointed out the test's anomalies since some of them discovered a DNA template online that included coroner's case number, which suggests that she has been lying. However, the fact that she waited for Ronnie to pass away as if she needed him gone first is so messy. It's really awesome. Additionally, it doesn't help that the police are handling the case as a targeted hit and homicide. According to insiders, given that there was a motivation, Chrisean Rock is a suspect. There has been a lot of discussion on the internet, and even Whack 100 has weighed in, stating that Chrisean had no excuse for not testing the man at least before he passed away, and that he hopes she wasn't to blame.
I don't know, man. They say it was a targeted hit. Time will tell. You know, I hope there isn't any foul play on Rock's side. There's obviously some foul play because we got a man dead.
Right.
But I will say this.
Hope the same thing, too, because that poor baby doesn't deserve all of this stress. The way Ronnie dies is suspicious, yet it's only love and caring. Crescent after being tested for DNA leaked chat program. Fearing for his life, he only desired to care for the child if it were his. Currently, the cops are looking into Blueface and Chrisean Rock. However, as I mentioned, the internet is ablaze with comments like this one. I firmly believe she was responsible for Ronnie's death because she waited until he passed away and created phony DNA test documents. Without a doubt, she is suspicious. A different person commented, "How are you all blaming her when you don't know what that man was into in his real everyday life?" And I understand that, kind of. In the event that someone is found guilty, we'll just wait for the law to play out.
It was obvious from the start. This outcome was always inevitable, right? If you didn't see this coming, if you didn't expect something like this, if this is shocking to you in any way, then you haven't really been paying attention. You just haven't been understanding what's really going on in this situation, right? From the very moment that Chrisean was pregnant with Junior, from that very moment, his fate in his life was doomed, right? His destiny, quote unquote, was doomed from the start. He was doomed for failure, and not doomed in the sense that, he's doomed because he just never had the mentality to do things. He was never he was never ambitious enough. He was never a go-getter. He was never this or that. This is why his life is ending up a certain different way than he did. No, he's not one of these types of people. He hasn't even gotten a chance to be that type of person. You know why? Because he was doomed from the very beginning. He will naturally not be able to be ambitious about certain things, because if you lack cognitive functioning to process those situations, how can you be ambitious about chasing a goal in those fields, right? If you can barely understand what's going on in the field because your brain might be so fried, right? You've got these cognitive issues, you've got these potential disabilities, right? Impaired vision, speech impediment potentially, right? Difficulty walking, right? These things are all things that will hinder you in a major way. And these things are not things that he caused on his own. It wasn't recklessness. It wasn't like he rode a motorcycle, fell, did something stupid and fell off the motorcycle and now he can never walk again. No. This isn't that. This ain't one of those situations, man. This is one of those scenarios where his parents doomed him, which is the worst way to be doomed, because you don't have any control of who your parents are going to be and how ignorant they are and how selfish they are and how neglectful they are. These are things out of your control. These are things that either you're lucky or you're not. Unfortunately, Junior wasn't lucky. I know a lot of people are I saw people commenting saying he's wealthy, he's chilling, he's rich. Like, you understand, being rich doesn't matter if you don't have the cognitive function to understand the benefit of being rich. Like, being rich is only valuable if you understand, like, it's only like, you don't even understand the value that you're getting. You know what I mean? He's just gonna still be struggling. Like, he's struggling to operate day to day. It's deeper than being rich. Like, there's things that matter more than being rich. Like, if you can see, right? I think people are getting this idea really wrong. Like, being able to see the world is more important than being rich. I hope you all know that. I hope you know that being able to see the world is more important than being rich. Like, having vision, I hope you know, being able to see colors, being able to see all of these beautiful things in the world, that's more important than being rich. If you're blind but you're rich, that's worthless. That means nothing. You still can't experience the world like I can. I'm still gonna have a better life than you, no matter how rich you are. You could be a billionaire and I'm gonna have a better life than you. In my opinion, I have a better life than a blind billionaire. I don't care what they can do, where they can go. No, I'm still having a better time in my own neighborhood, being able to see the trees, being able to see people, being able to see girls, being able to see everything. You know, I'm still having a better time than a blind billionaire. So I think you could have all the money in the world. And if you're blind, you have hard time talking, you have these certain disabilities, these certain things that will hinder you in life, your life isn't good. It doesn't matter how much you get. Like, there's no material that can save that. Sorry, bucko. There ain't no material that can save that. No, there ain't no yacht, there ain't no penthouse, there's nothing in this world that can save you being able to operate day to day. Your functions that you have, right? Like your how you think, how you process things, right? These things are much more important than what you have. They're much more important. Because without these abilities to see the world and without these abilities to do certain things, you can't enjoy life no matter what. Not the way that I can, no matter how much you have. So I think a lot of people are really foolish when they talk about these things. Like, they're really nearsighted. You know what I mean? They're really short-sighted when they talk about these things. Like, they don't see the whole picture. They see one aspect of someone's life and they think, oh, well, that one aspect is good, so their whole life must be great. But in fact, that is incorrect. In fact, that is not the truth. That is not the truth. And studies have actually shown that people get more money and they don't get a higher level of happiness. Like, for a little bit they get more happy and then it goes down to like normal levels. Like, it goes down to normal levels. In fact, it actually goes lower than it was before, because when you get really happy, like studies have shown, when you get really happy, you actually get more sad than you were initially before you got really happy. Like, the levels, it's a weird thing, but this has been like shown in studies before. This has been measured and people have actually taken the time out to ask people who are in these positions and who are not, and the results are shocking. Okay, so people who have just gotten a bunch of money are not always really happy. In fact, they just have different problems now a lot of times. You know, like, the people who don't have money is their only problem. The people who have money, have many more problems now, and their money's good, but now they have a whole nother set of problems. Now, having money problems is obviously worse than almost any other problem, but you get the point. Was what I'm saying is that it doesn't just equate. It's not, money is not a one-to-one to happiness. It's not. I know a lot of poor people would say, yeah, if I got money, I'll be really, really happy right now. Yes, you would, because you never had it. But if Chrisean Jr. was born rich, like y'all were saying, if he's born rich, he's born wealthy, he's already had millions, he's not going to understand the difference between not having the millions. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to understand the difference between having poor parents and not. This is why Nepo babies are never, they're never like in touch with reality. This is why Jaden Smith, King Harris, they always sound so foolish, because they're never in touch with reality, because they never had to struggle. They never had to get nothing out of the mud. So if you never had to struggle, you're not gonna value being rich as like, oh, I'm valuing riches over my own eyesight. Like, no, that's delusional, okay? If you thought that, you're deluded. I need you to understand. You're a delusional fool. Okay, if you believe that, right? Let's get that straight. And yeah, this outcome was always obvious because Chrisean was ignorant. She was neglectful and selfish. She prioritized drinking and clubbing over her own child's health. And this is why her child will be doomed in many ways. He'll probably have to deal with a lot of harsh conditions for himself. And this is something that could have been prevented. This was not his fate. His fate didn't have to be like this. For him, it is his fate. Now it is. But it didn't have to be like this. You know, with a responsible person who had the right morals and the right values that Chrisean is lacking right now, he could have had a much better outcome in life. And that's a really sad thing. That's a sad thing, bro, that someone's life is just going to be worse and there's nothing they can do about it. There's nothing he can do about it, right? This is why we have to speak about this. We have to speak up for the kids. You can't just sit back and just enjoy all the drama that's going on and all this and not think about there's deeper situations that are actually affecting people's lives, bro, in negative ways, like in life destructing ways and life destroying ways, right? Like, this is massive life altering things that he can't control. He'll probably be made fun of if he really does have a speech impediment. That is alleged, but if he does, he'll probably be made fun of a lot. You know, those kids are evil, bro. Like, little kids, they're not evil, but they just don't have any idea of, like, I'm not gonna say they're evil, but they don't have any real idea of how negative they're being. Like, they look at someone and they don't think about, man, this person didn't have any control over this situation. They were doomed from the very start. Their mom was an idiot. Like, they didn't think, a little kid in the same grade as you is not gonna think about all of the reasons why you're actually doomed. They're just gonna look at them and be like, oh, he's not like me. Haha, he's not like me. He's weird. Haha. And then they just start laughing and start joking and they'll make fun of that kid. You know, I know that's how kids are, because that's just how kids are, bro. They don't think. They don't have that logical thought process into where they can see, man, this person's life is not in their own control right now. They're doomed for a very unfortunate reason. That could have doomed me too. I was just much luckier than him, and I had a parent who was much more responsible when I was being conceived. So I was a lucky person. That, kids don't think like that. They don't understand the luck that they have to not be in this type of situation. They don't grasp that. They just see that he's in that situation. They're not, and that's funny. That's weird to them. He's a weirdo now. He's outcasted now because of his mom's foolish, ignorant, selfish actions in the club, twerking and drinking like a slore, like a 304, like a harlot. Okay? Let me know what you guys think about all this stuff in the comments below. I could go on about this stuff for hours, honestly, but it gets to a point where I'm breaking the same, I'm covering the same points and explaining this thing to you and just trying to penetrate it deeper into your mind. But at a certain point, if I've said it and explained it 1,000 ways, there's no way I can explain it to make it penetrate into, you can't penetrate into the mind of a thick skull. You know what I mean? A metal head, a titanium skull. I can't penetrate into the mind of some of these people, some of these Baddies fans, titanium skulls, to actually make them understand what's going on here. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you guys think about all of this? Junior's health allegedly declining even further, allegedly having to be rushed to the hospital, right? What do you guys think about that? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications. It's free. Snow is right here. Tuning out. Be easy, y'all.